Well, good morning. Welcome to Morning Java. I'm joined here in our Highmark Stadium studio by photographer slash reporter slash Mr. Everything, Matt Sunday. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Penguins' 5-3 victory over the Canadiens at PPG Paints Arena. But we're going to start with something that happened within that, and yet something that is so much broader. And that is the fact that neither he, nor I, nor you, nor anyone on this planet knows what constitutes goaltender interference, and we had yet another example of that happen right in front of your lens.
Yeah, it's the perfect example. You start to hear maybe next year we're going to see 2-minute bench penalties when you
For challenging.
Yeah. But this might have been that case.
With Claude Julien challenging Evgeny Malkin, sliding into Carey Price, moving him, and doing so before the puck went in, which, by the standards that have been set all season long,
should be interference, right?
Should be goaltender interference. Maybe not the minor penalty, but definitely waving off the goal.
The thing that I texted up to you for our live file immediately was that from my angle, Carey Price was falling back when he made this really nice blocker save. Yeah, before any contact was made a really nice blocker save, but he clearly took himself out of position to make any type of play on the puck. And Malkin's body hitting the puck, kind of hitting his shoulder and rolling through to the net, I think maybe caused the goal to stand, because it was a play on the puck that wasn't necessarily a play on Carey Price, and Price put himself in that situation.
But Price was moved. And again, I'm being in the most literal possible.
No, I agree with you.
Person that I can here, because that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Is that he moved the guy. So I asked Claude Julien after the game in English, en anglais, what he thought of it, and he barked back pretty good. Not at me, but obviously at the call that was made. And he said, I felt this was fair on his part, by the way, that this is going to be another one of those examples that gets cited around the league, like the one with the Penguins, like the one with the Maple Leafs before that. And it happens beautifully enough the day after Gary Bettman and everybody says, this doesn't happen very often.
Well, ironically, the exact same situation in the NFL, right? We saw the catch come into play in the Super Bowl after the meetings and discussing. So I guess next year we're gonna see some type of definition on what this
now,
is.
By the way, not to change the subject of football, but I have seen now people referring to what the NFL is planning to put in as the Jesse James rule. I've seen that. To the game itself, a lot of neat stuff happened at your end of the ice.
A lot, finally. We've had a run of some of it not happening. But.
Specifically in the third period, Derick Brassard finally scored. Jake Guentzel finally scored. They got big goals. They got good goals. They beat a great goaltender in Carey Price, regardless of the fact that he's coming back off of a month's rest. He is still Carey Price. How much can that mean to this team?
Yeah, well, we talked about this last time we were sitting here, and just that Jake Guentzel, once he starts getting going towards the playoffs, who knows where that can go. I mean, the guy, he's streaky. He's a streaky player. He's a little hot, a little cold.
And
slumpy.
Which is
that's a streak as well,
I
too,
know,
right?
but he feels...
Come on, you've covered baseball.
I know, but he feels more slumpy than he does streaky. And I know that sounds really unfair, doesn't it?
Sometimes he looks almost more like Connor Sherry in his role with Sidney Crosby than he looks like Jake. Just in that kind of like ho-hum going along the wing with Sidney Crosby and letting things happen around him rather than being ultra creative, which is when he's goal scoring, he's moving without the puck as much as he can.
And he's going to the net, which sounds crazy for a guy his size. But look at even the process of setting up Sid's ridiculous goal, which was at the other end.
Yeah, the one thing I missed. But
even that deflected off of Guentzel's blade because he was in traffic. He was finding a way to get involved. And Brassard, nice goal at a big time,
nice
proves to be the winner.
And he just let it rip too. I noticed when he's going to the bench, Sidney Crosby gives him this like cheeky little grin and a head nod, and it's just.
Did you get that?
I did not. I didn't. Well, it would be too hard to really like relay in a single photo.
Describe it for us.
Oh, he's just grinning, and he gives him that. He gives him that
Sid's
head nod.
and I wrote about this in New York. At Madison Square Garden, where they stayed out, Sid and Brassard, even though they don't play together, they seem to have hit it off. And Sid's been finding a way to spend extra time with him, I guess, to make him feel more welcome, more acclimated.
Yeah, that's what this moment felt like. It was like, see, I told you were going to get one.
Yeah, and there it was. For all the coverage that we offered in print this morning, one subject that didn't come up, at least not in any detail, was that Casey DeSmith played well. That did come up. But can he realistically, if given, you know what I'm going to ask, I can tell.
I know.
If he's given the chance, can he be the backup entering playoffs?
Do we even know if that's the direction that this is going to go?
No, honestly,
I mean, it's like
Sunday, every indication that I've gotten from the Penguins, including on this last New York-Montreal trip, people that I was talking to, is that there's basically been a script for Jarry and DeSmith, that, including when Murray was injured, and they decided that they were going to keep trying to give them both a chance, and now, of course, Murray comes back, so you know Murray's going to get a run of games. So maybe Jarry goes down to Wilkes-Barre so that he can stay.
Right, and DeSmith's the career backup. We've talked about that, college, pro, every level.
He knows how to play rusty.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been really good at times, and then there's just sometimes with the lapses. But last night I thought he was pretty good. I heard some conversation around me where people were pretty critical of him on a couple of the goals.
No
I mean,
way.
The
Did
one
they
goal,
also exhort
20
the
feet
power
into the
play
air.
to shoot more?
My goodness, they probably did. But listen, the guy he stopped a penalty shot. He made
very casually.
Yeah, real casually, just left the glove up and
a
just
good
kind of
player. That's Brendan Gallagher's a pretty nice hockey player.
He got left to right and right to left when he was defending the penalty.
By the way, on the penalty shot, a little bit of like flip action there with the glove. Did you catch that?
Yeah,
afterward,
I think he might have.
Here you go, Brendan Gallagher.
He might have thrown some words that way
there.
because when he went to the corner and followed Gallagher kept looking back at him, giving him some eyes. So I was wondering if there was something there. Yeah, I like attitude. I like attitude.
But Jarry's the more talented goalie.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not going to dispute that, right? We're not in disagreement there.
No, I think my thought is that if something were to happen to Matt Murray, another concussion or whatever it may be, God forbid, but if something were to happen, I think Jarry comes into that we need him to be our guy role.
So he's 1 or 3.
Yeah.
In this scenario.
You want to get him the time, right? Like, why do you want him to not play?
Yeah. I mean, they both need to play. They both need chances, but I don't know how set in stone this is.
What's in your cup?
Sunday. You're ridiculous. This is the What's in Your Cup segment, featuring us and also featuring you. If you go down and you put stuff in comments, we will respond to it. My man, Rainman Oli, who is a regular contributor in comments, has an excellent one. This is under the live file. He says, my goodness, look at the size of number 6's hands in the photo up top. That's a big dude. Now, the photo up top was shot by this individual.
Most likely.
And that was Alexiak fighting McCarron from Montreal. Alexiak 6'7", McCarron 6'6". The term heavyweight gets overused, not in this case.
Yeah, he's working his way through Chara and now McCarron. Man, I didn't know what was happening. All of a sudden, I see one glove hit the ice, but they were so casual about the way they started it.
Oh, you
Alexiak
went for like a little bit of a spin, and he's doing this, and then he's checking his nails.
Man, and he came up like ready to defend or go. He's 10 feet away from the guy.
Yeah.
He's got his hands up. It was honestly a tribute to the old days of fighting, the way that he started that.
Sure. But, there was that whole, you could tell McCarron wanted to get something going.
Sure.
You know? And Alexiak was going to, look, the team needs a little bit of a spark and all that other stuff. And they went at it. I didn't think there was a clear winner. He obviously got the takedown.
Yeah, he went over top, which he wins.
Roar,
which I talk about if you read my piece. It's a win, but is it really? I thought he actually got the worst of it because McCarron had his chin strap.
Yeah.
And he's holding on to his collar and his chin strap.
Yeah.
And that helmet's just floating and dancing along with him. And he's just, he's giving that jab with the left hand over
giving
and over
him
again.
the business.
Yeah, nobody really got the overhand or the hook or anything.
Nonetheless, when it was done, and by that I mean when the penalty was done being served, you saw Jamie Alexiak go across the ice, and his bench is standing in unison doing this with their sticks.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen it this year, right? You go back to that Nashville game that we talked about some, and I mean, the team, whether or not the fans appreciate it or not, it's so torn. Everybody argues about whether fighting should be in the game.
The fans in the seats don't seem all that torn on it.
No, not in the seats, not at the moment.
I think the philosophical ones that are, complaining at home might be offended by it. But look, I'm not crazy about fighting in hockey either. You're watching those guys, and all you're thinking is, Jamie Alexiak could get concussed here in a game against a crappy team.
Yeah, and then you're playing both Ruido and Matt Hunwick.
Line winger. Yeah.
The players really appreciate it though.
Yeah.
And whether they truly support it or not, they always appreciate it. And when he was heading to the bench, and you hear the the tap in unison from everybody, he gets the head pats and all that. I mean, the guys love it. They might not love that, the act of maybe breaking your hand off somebody's helmet.
What they understand is that he did it, so I don't have to. That's what they get in hockey.